Endgame Gear is my toxic ex. Just when I thought they'd lost me with the OP1WE being really kinda underwhelming, they pull me back in with their new release, the OP1WE. But why has it pulled me back in, even though it has the same exact specs and the same exact weight? Well, because Endgame Gear focused on these subjective comfort features that frankly matter way more than objective spec bumps, and they executed it well. How well? Well, keep watching to find out. Starting off with the shape. Now, the OP1WE is a brand new shape that Endgame Gear has created. I mean, its philosophies are not exactly brand new. There are kind of ethos of the ZOE ZA series here, but definitely, it's a unique shape which, well, I like to see because unique shapes don't come out that often these days. Whereas the original XM1 was famous for having low click height, the OP1WE's focus is in its very low width. The pinch point of this mouse is extremely narrow, and the hips still have a slight bit of flaring to support the back of your thumb and your forefinger, but they're very minimal, and the whole mouse feels extremely slender, even though lengthwise it's not that much shorter than something like the Pulsar X2. Its click position is still really nice and low, about the same height as the XM2, but unlike the XM2, which stays low all the way throughout the mouse until the back hump, which is really far back and pokey and peaks all the way here, the hump has been moved forward and the curve of the mouse isn't like a pointy spike anymore, it's more like a gentle curvature through the middle. This results in a different feel in terms of palm support. If you do a very kind of rearwards leaning claw grip, that is to say your palm kind of hangs off the back of the mouse a little bit, unlike the XM2WE, you're not going to feel like everything is poking into your palm. However, if you do more of a traditional forward-leaning claw grip, this is going to feel more similar to like AG Pro X Superlight, where the palm support is towards the center of the mouse. This results in a mouse that's really nice for claw grip and a lot more traditional feeling than the XM2WE. Not that there was anything wrong with the XM2 shape, it's just some people didn't like it because the hump was so far back. If that was your problem with the XM2WE, you don't face that problem here. But it does feel like a much smaller mouse because it's the same length, a similar height, but a lot more narrow. The narrowness though might be a good thing. I think for some people it might be very uncomfortable or hard to get used to, or it just might make the mouse too small for them, perfectly fine reasons. But I think the narrow design is a great thing for long-term comfort. Things that are narrower are easier to hold, and I find that my forearms are strained less after long gaming sessions when a mouse is smaller and narrower in my hands. Of course, if it's too small, it's still going to be uncomfortable, but if this mouse is about the right size for your hands and you get used to the narrower sides, you often end up with more comfort long term. For claw grips, I recommend this mouse for people with about 17 to 20 centimeter long hand. If you have similar finger to palm ratio that I do. My fingers are about 2/3 the length of my palm, so the ratio is about 2 to 3. But I would say that if you have longer fingers than I do, that is to say maybe your fingers and palms are about the same length, then I would recommend this mouse for up to 18.5 or 19 centimeter long hand. Because even with my short stubby fingers, this mouse feels a little small, like it's starting to get there. If you're trying to fingertip grip and you have short stubby fingers like I do, then 19 cm might be too small of a hand size to do it because the clicks are so far forward that you will find it hard to have your palm not touching the back of the mouse while you're trying to fingertip grip it. However, if you have the same hand size as me but longer fingers, that is to say maybe half your hand is fingers, then you probably won't have an issue fingertip gripping. So this is why I recommend it for fingertip grip, 19 centimeters or longer hands, but make sure you have longer fingers than I do. Apart from the shape though, the other really nice subjective improvement they've made here is the coating. It's so damn grippy, you do not need to use grip tape, which is a rarity for gaming mice these days. The coating on here is so good that I can hold the mouse up like this, with just a little bit of moisture on my fingers from natural palm sweat. Like, I feel like Spider-Man with this mouse because it's so grippy that I don't need to hold on to the sides to hold on to the mouse. This means that even though it's 61 grams, you save a good number of grams on not having to put grip tape, and also a lot of people don't like the feel of grip tape. They just use it because it's better than a slippery mouse, and for those people that hate grip tape but want grip, this is a brilliant coating. I hope everyone copies this coating, and I hope Endgame Gear puts this coating on every mouse they make moving forward because it is absolutely brilliant. What isn't brilliant though is the buttons on this mouse. The thumb buttons have a little bit of post-travel and wriggle. They're not deal breakers of any sort, but they aren't perfect. Scroll wheel is nice and low profile, but they do feel a little bit mushy, but the main problems I have with the buttons are the clicks. Now these clicks use Carl Geo optical switches, which are supposedly great for performance and longevity, but my issue with them isn't that. My issue with them is that they feel really weird. Now I thought this was a QC issue initially because on my XM2WE, it had this same problem, but now that I have had multiple Endgame Gear wireless mice that I've tried and used, they all had this same click feel. I know that it's a feature, but it's also kind of a bug. I'm not a fan of these clicks at all. They have this weird feeling like they're getting stuck on the bottom of your click. They also kind of feel like they're getting caught on something when they come up. Like they make this kind of noise, that is to say they're getting caught on a ledge or something when they're coming up. Now I don't think this is like a design failure. I probably think this is some sort of unfortunate feel that comes about from how the mechanism is unwinding, but it just feels weird and rather undesirable. The rest of this mouse is fine. It has a 3370 sensor and at 61 grams it's reasonably light. But because it's such a small mouse, its build quality is really solid, which is good. Its battery life is also decent as well thanks to its reasonable weight, fitting a decent sized battery in here, and the wireless performance, click latency and tracking seem to be perfectly adequate even on my 540Hz display. Once again, human reaction time is like 150 to 200 milliseconds. You're going to get more performance improvements by taking care of your diet, doing cardio exercise and sleeping well, rather than getting a mouse with 4000, 8000 Hz polling rate and all the latest features. Do I wish they made a lighter version of this mouse with higher end specs? The answer is absolutely yes. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's less important, and it's not like they're charging the same amount of money as other people with higher end specs. It's about 80 USD, which is cheaper than the Lemzo Atlantis Pro and the Pulsar X2 that it's clearly competing with. All in all then, should you get this mouse? Well, if this is the right shape and right size for you, then it is going to be a compelling option, assuming you can get past the clicks. But I think for the people who are able to get used to it, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Thanks for watching and subscribe. Now, if you watched to this point in this video, you are probably a #1 supporter of this channel, and I'd like to say thank you to you, but I need your help with something. So recently I started on a mission to try to revolutionize e-commerce and tech shopping in Singapore through a project called thetechyard.com, linked down in the description below. It's not my own project alone. I'm working for a company called Aftershock PC and this project is under them, but I am doing a lot of the work regarding this project and it is definitely got a lot of my blood, sweat and tears in it. But if you're looking to buy components for building your next gaming PC, or just upgrading your existing PC, or just buying gaming mice, gaming keyboards or gaming monitors, thetechyard.com is probably the best place to check out. Link down in the description. It is my project. It's early days, so there are going to be bugs, I am sure, but I would appreciate your support in giving feedback or maybe even possibly shopping on there. Anyway, thanks for watching. More videos soon.